Hey guys, welcome back. Here is the second part to my album collection. I honestly didn't think the first part for, recording and editing would have taken as long as it would have, since it practically came out to a 23 minute video. And didn't expect it to take that long, so hopefully this part will be a little bit quicker, and we'll see how long this takes. Anyways, I'm going to be picking up where I left off with the O's, and we'll be continuing through the rest of the alphabet and do any numbers as well. So, my O's, they are pretty quick as well. So, the first one I have is Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Honestly, it is a great album and one of the best albums, in my opinion, of 2021. I love its overall sound, its overall style, and again, such a great debut album, as well as a great album coming from last year, 2021. The other album I own is Human, the Deluxe Edition by One Republic. Honestly, it wasn't too bad of an album, but at points I felt it was kind of a generic album, and some of the songs on here kind of sounded similar to one another. Moving on to the P's. Here I have The Truth About Love by Pink. This album turned 10 this year, back in September. I mean, it wasn't a bad album. There are some tracks I personally do enjoy on here, like Try and Just Give Me a Reason, featuring Nate Ruess. Next up, I have Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone. I feel it is an enjoyable album and one of his more enjoyable albums, in my opinion. I also have his album, 12 Karat Toothache, which was released earlier this year. It wasn't too bad of an album, but not one of his best to date, to say nonetheless. Next up, I have 1999 by Prince. This album also turns 40 years old this year. It is such an enjoyable album and has many great tracks on it. And lastly, to finish off the piece, I have Purple Rain. This is the 2017 expanded edition, and it is by Prince and the Revolution. It contains 3 discs. The first one is the original album from, I believe, 1984. Then the second disc is previously unreleased tracks and tracks from the vault. Then the third disc is single edits and B-sides. Then this also contains a DVD of one of his live concerts, which I have watched once or twice, and I feel that was a great concert. So this is going to be another short one. I do not own anything by an artist whose name starts with Q. I also should have said this in the previous clip, but did not. I figured I might as well give it its own clip anyhow, but I also do not own any albums by an artist whose name starts with the letter R. Right, so now onto the S's. I guess this section is kind of preparing you guys for the T's and as well as V's, as this one is kind of lengthy, but won't be as lengthy as, those 2 sections. So, for S's, first I have Supernatural by Santana. I feel it was an enjoyable album. Next up, I have Come On Over by Shania Twain. This album turned 25 this year. Still an enjoyable album 25 years later, and has so many great tracks. Next up, I have Astro Lounge by Smash Mouth. It is an enjoyable album as well. So many decent tracks on there. Some may say they are popular because their song All Star is featured in the movie Shrek. Next up, I have We're All Somebody from Somewhere by Steven Tyler. This is his solo country album. I didn't feel it was overall a bad album, but it did have some rock elements to it to some extent. Next up, I have Runaway Boys, a retrospective by Stray Cats. I haven't listened to this album yet, but I'll have to check it out, so no opinion of that album quite yet till I get a chance to listen to it. And lastly, as for S's, I have Twice the Speed of Life by Sugarland. Not one of my favorite bands for country, but it wasn't too terrible of an album to say nonetheless. So now onto the tease, which will probably be the lengthiest part of this entire video. So we'll see how long or how fast I can move us across the tease to try and get this video to be a little quicker than the first part. And this is mainly dominated by one artist, as you guys will be seeing here in a second. First off, I have Beautiful Lies by Taylor Swift. It is a decent extended play. Next up is Evermore by Taylor Swift, one for more folk albums she released in 2020, and honestly, it is an enjoyable album. Next up, I have Fearless, yet again, another Taylor Swift album, and it is an enjoyable album, to say nonetheless, so many great songs. The album is also going to be turning 15 years old in 2023, next year. Then I have Fearless, Taylor's version by Taylor Swift. I feel it is a great re-recording of the original album and has great previously unreleased tracks. Next up, I have Folklore by Taylor Swift, which is her other more folk-inspired album she released in 2020. Another enjoyable album. Next, I have her 2019 album, Lover. Not one of my favorites, but it did have some great tracks, to say nonetheless. Next up, I have her most recent album, Midnights. As of now, I find it to be an enjoyable album. Not really sure where I would rate this album in her currently 10 studio albums. Next, I have her 2012 album, Red, which celebrated its 10th anniversary earlier this year. It is a great album. I also own the deluxe edition, and I do enjoy those bonus tracks. I also have her album, Red, Taylor's version, which is another great re-recording and has some great previously unreleased tracks. Next, I have Speak Now, yet again, by Taylor Swift. Another great album. Now, Reputation by Taylor Swift. This turned 5 earlier this year. Personally, not one of my favorite albums of hers, mainly with some of the sounds, some of the styles throughout. And lastly, for Taylor Swift, can't forget her album, 1989, her first pop album. I feel it was a great and enjoyable track. The only Taylor Swift album I do not own is her self-named album, which I would like to get sometime in the future. But wait, we are not finished with the tease, as I have 2 more albums. So here we are with Greatest Hits 2 by Toby Keith. I feel it is a great Greatest Hits album. And lastly, I have House of Music by Tony. It was a decent album to say nonetheless, but there are my teas. I told you guys this was going to be a lengthy section, but I'll try to quickly move on through the rest of the alphabet. So this is going to be another short and quick one for this video, say nonetheless. It is Raymond v. Raymond by Usher. I feel it was a decent album, but there were some tracks that kind of held me down to feel like it was a great album. Onto the V's. Some of you guys may possibly have guessed what ours or these are going to be. But if you've been watching me for some time, you may already know what this section is going to be like. So let's go ahead and hop to the V's. So here is Merry Christmas 2005 by various artists. Just a Christmas compilation that I was given to. Then I was also given this one from one of my aunts. This is one of the schools they went to, and they graduated early 80s, so this album, Mayview Class of 1982, is just a compilation of, popular songs from the late 70s, early 80s. Then, another one I was just given, that they called mixtape number 1, just some popular songs from the early 2000s, mainly consisting of some pop and rap. Next is Now, that's why I call Music 9. Some you guys may be familiar with this series, just some greatest hits at a particular point in time. Next, I have Now, that's why I call Music 65, 65th installment of the US version. Personally, not my favorite of it, but there are a few tracks I do enjoy. Next, I have Top Tunes, Male Pop by various artists. There are some great songs on there. Next is Toys for Tots by various artists. Again, more holiday songs. These, I was just given this disc, so just some songs I not sure what they're supposed to be. Haven't really popped in, see what they're supposed to be. Next is We Wish You a Merry Christmas by various artists. Again, it's more holiday. Another holiday album I was just given, and practically now is the time for you to play it, as Christmas is approaching. Less than a month away now, only a couple of weeks, and now to end the V's, I have Extreme Sessions by various artists. So looks like that is more rock music and by some popular acts. Now, I am practically at the end of my CD collection. Here I am with the W, so let's go ahead and hop into them. Here is Bringing Down the Horse by The Wallflowers. I feel it was an enjoyable album. Next, I have After Hours by The Weeknd. I feel this is such an enjoyable album, such a great album. Now, one of my personal favorites of his, it is Beauty Behind the Madness. This is the album that gave him mainstream success with songs such as The Hills, Often, Earned It, and Can't Feel My Face. I also have his newest album, Dawn FM. I feel it is an enjoyable album, to say nonetheless. And to end us off for W's, I have The Essential Weird Al Yankovic by Weird Al Yankovic. I feel that is a decent compilation album. As you guys could have guessed from the previous clip, I do not own any albums by artists whose names start with X, Y, Z, or even a number, so you don't have to worry about those. I like to keep these ones towards the end, but I do have 15 albums and, well, CDs and these cases that I burned. They're practically 15 CDs of popular songs. I've decided to burn onto this with the the tracks. Some of the tracks being tracks released from 2017, 2018 when I did burn these CDs. So there's all of that, O through Z. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and feel free to leave any thoughts about any of these albums in the comments on this video as well as the previous video. So yeah, that is it. I feel this was enjoyable and a little more better than trying to live stream me, practically going back and forth, showing you guys each individual album and briefly saying something about each album. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed both of these videos. I will be back with this video series sometime in late January to mid-February, depending on when I want to release those videos. So yeah, so I'm just not hitting you guys back to back with these videos, practically in the span of good week or two. But I mean, they also do take some time to record and edit as well, so I'm sure I'll take my time to do those other videos when I do return with them again sometime in January or February. For like the 50th time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.